Welcome to my channel. This is a video about CS50 lecture 1 C. So in this lecture they taught us a lot of things in C like conditionals, loops and all that fun stuff. For this week's lab they told us to make a program called population. So in this program we would ask the user the start size and the end size of the population, and we would tell them how many years it would take to get to that end size. So it wasn't really hard. They gave us a formula for counting the amount of years. So how did I implement this? Let me open the file. Okay, so I ask the user the start size and the end size using this box of code, and then I calculate the amount of years. That's it really. It really isn't that hard. They set up here as a formula, so it shouldn't be that hard to implement. For the problem set, they told us to make a few programs. The first one is Mario list. In this program, we have to print a right align pyramid of the user provided height basically. So if the user provide height 8, we have to print a pyramid of height 8. If the user provides height 4, we have to print a pyramid of height 4. So how did I implement this? Okay, so first I prompt the user for the height. It has to be a positive integer and it can't be more than 8. So there are a few for loops for printing the pyramid. The first one is for the rows, the actual height. The second one prints some spaces to make the pyramid right aligned. The third one prints the actual hashtags. So if I run this, I'll be first asked for height. Let's give it 3, and the pyramid of height 3 is printed. So that's it. That's how Mario less works. So next is Mario mode. It is similar to the last one. The key difference is we have to print another pyramid. This one is left aligned. So how did I implement this? Let me go to Mario mode first. Okay. If you already figured out the last program, this shouldn't be hard. This is very similar. For the left stairs, I basically use the last program, and for the right stairs, I have to print a space first, then print the left align stairs. So if I run this, we get prompted for a height. Let's put in 7. So the there are two pyramids of height 7. One is right aligned and one is left aligned. For the next one, we have to implement greedy algorithm. So basically, when we are making the change, we want to minimize the number of coins we are giving out to the customer. For this one, let me open the file first. Okay, so for this one, we have to implement some functions. The first one gets the send from the user. The rest calculate the amount of quarters, dimes, and so on. For the first function, I use a do while loop to get a positive integer from the user, and I return n back to the caller. For calculate quarters, I use a for loop. In this loop, I subtract 25 from the cents while the value of cents is greater than or equals to 25. And then I return q, that is the amount of iterations in the for loop. The rest of the functions work in the same way. The only difference is the amount I'm subtracting. In the main function, I ask the user for the send using getSends function. Then I calculate the amount of quarters using calculate quarters. After that, I subtract quarter times 25 from cents to calculate the remaining amount of cents. I repeat this process till line 29. Then uh, I add quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies to get the amount of coins, and I print the amount of coins using the print function. So let's run this program. Let's type like 28 cents. So the amount of coins I have to give is 4. For credit, we have to check if the card is valid or not using loans algorithm. Then we have to check if the card is American Express, Visa, or Mastercard. Okay, for this one, I have created some functions. Let's take a look at them one by one. The first one is called checksum. It takes a long integer and returns a bool value. I basically implemented the Loon's algorithm. I'm not going to explain how Loon's algorithm works. Basically, according to Loon's algorithm, if the card is valid, it returns true, else it returns false. The next one is len. It takes a long integer and returns an integer. Uh, in this function, there is a for loop which calculates the number of digits using modular division. The next one is get first. It takes length and number as integers and returns an integer. So basically, this function gets the first two digits of a number. The last one is type. It takes two integers. It basically checks what type of card it is. If it isn't one of these three, it returns it or it prints invalid. In the main function, I ask the user for a number. It has to be a positive integer. Then I pass that number in the checksum function. If the checksum is true, I find out the length. Then I get the first digits and finally print out the type of the card. If the checksum isn't true, I print invalid. Okay, let's run this. Uh, okay, this is it. This is how it works. It prompts the user for a number, and if the card is valid, it prints out the type of the card. If it isn't valid, it prints out invalid. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.